after here. So I thought I'd talk about my next bike. And my next bike came about because I had moved from one town to another, and although it wasn't distance-wise much of a difference, it was a big change in driving. Where I used to live, it was all city urban driving, and my little KLR 600 was more than adequate, and it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, where I moved to, I had to do some highway driving, or some driving where there was higher speeds involved, and generally it's a little crazier cars. And what happened was my KLR just wasn't capable of getting me to work comfortably. It just felt just a little bit uncomfortable driving in these sort of conditions. Pretty well anybody's ever driven a 125 or a 250 in Europe or whatnot would pretty well know what I'm talking about. So what happened was I did a little bit of research, looked for a different bike, something more of an average bike, but there was also some technology and whatnot. And at the time there was a guy who was racing a Honda NT650 Hawk, and he had actually put a whole RC30 body kit on it, and it was an awesome looking motorcycle. He'd done a whole bunch of things to it. And I got talking to the mechanic about the bike, and he was saying that the Hawks were just super reliable. They were great bikes, and he says the best part about them is they didn't sell, so they're not worth anything. And I thought, well, what? I said, well, what's that good? And he says, well, nobody liked them. Honda brought them in for a couple of years, and nobody would buy them. They couldn't even give them away. And he said, you can buy them for like next to nothing. So I thought about it for a bit, and I go, hey, sounds about okay for me. So I looked around and actually found a I believe it was an 88 spec 650 Hawk for sale. Had to drive quite a ways to go get it, but it ended up being a really good bike, really good condition, and started using that to go back and forth to work. Traffic. So the 650 Hawk, the 650 V-twin, had a single-sided swing arm, which was actually kind of cool. It had really crappy forks though. And I did my normal braided brake line bit on it to make it handle a little bit better and so forth. But it was basically my commuter, and eventually I actually came to enjoy it a lot. And you know, it handled really well. It drove pretty well everywhere I needed to go. It got good gas mileage, good on the highway, looked reasonably good. So it had a lot of good things going for it. You know, I got sort of impressed by my one friend who put all the upside down forks and whatnot on the one he raced, because it was really awesome looking. But you know, for what I was using it for, it was pretty much fine as it was. It had braided brake lines and performance brake pads, which made it stop a lot better than what it originally had for brakes and stuff. Shiny bike and a little bit of chrome on the back of that Honda. And I drove it for a whole lot of years. The only reason I actually had to sell it was I got injured at work, and I had managed to do a lot of damage to my knee.
position and the position of the foot pegs and so forth, my knee would start to cramp up after about a half an hour riding, and I mean severely cramp up. This was like, you know, after the corrective surgery went on and everything, so it was just something that was basically going to be a problem for the rest of my life. And it was kind of sad because I actually enjoyed riding the bike, because it was just easy to maintain. It never gave you any real problem. It was fun to drive. You really couldn't get into trouble with it unless you were really trying really extra hard. Never had to worry about getting a speeding ticket with it, because to actually go fast enough to get like a highway speeding ticket, you'd actually have to like just stomp on it, and I had no intention of doing that, so that wasn't going to happen. And you know, so I ended up you know, giving it up for a different bike. And the different bike was actually my dream bike, which